Hi everyone, I'm your host for today. My name is Mehak and I welcome all of you to Montage of Singapore Season 2, presented by Masti Media Network and supported by National Integration Council. Well, today's topic on this show is Youth United, Singapore's Future Harmony, where we've invited some really talented young minds to come join us on the panel of the show and share their thoughts on national integration and how we can make Singapore a more inclusive society. Let me introduce them to you. Our first young panelist is Nurina Shakira binti Sabari. She is a student of Malay origin at Republic Poly and she did not have any prior music background at all. She picked up learning Chinese percussions at Chinese Ensemble CCA. Our next guest is Radha Govinda Das Tan Hojun, a graduate from Republic Poly. He's Chinese and has been learning and performing tabla since a very young age. He's currently a world percussionist. Our next guest is Ika Khairia. She's a Singapore-based visual artist and aspiring arts educator. Last but not the least, we have Sanjana Singh. She is a final year student in Nanyang Polytechnic pursuing aeronautical and aerospace technology. Well, we have you here, and I'm very, very delighted to have you on the sets of Montage of Singapore Season 2.
We're so happy to be here.
Yeah, we're so excited to share all our stories.
And I'm so excited to hear all your stories. Backstage, Nurina, you were telling something about the Kampong spirit. Why don't you tell everyone?
So to me, Kampong Spirit is basically just getting together as a community and just get together to hang out or just eat together. So recently, for Chinese New Year, I went to my friend's house and we ate hot pot together.
Oh, nice. I love hot pot.
Just to add on to Nurina, I would like to say Ramadan season coming soon. I got a lot of invitations as well to break fast with them. Maybe I'll just try out how they fast, because I realized it's a different method compared to my own religion.
So you're curious and you want to know more about the culture.
Of course I do.
Well, I got to cut in a little bit. Coming out of the Chinese New Year season, here comes the real relevant question. How much do you get?
Not a lot. But it's okay. I'm very grateful for the ang pao.
Well, so you've been getting ang paos. Do you practice Chinese New Year at home? Do you celebrate anything my children do? And they want to celebrate every festival here in Singapore that is celebrated in school.
I only go for celebrations where my friends usually ask me to. Yeah.
Hot pot.
Yeah, hot pot. If got food, I will go.
For sure.
And how about you, Ika?
I think other than festivals, for me it really starts off from home and just getting together with the communities that we have around us. So my neighbors throughout any type of festivals, be it Hari Raya or even Chinese New Year. My family will always do the initiative of giving each of them kueh mues or any snacks that are relevant. And sometimes occasionally they might also return oranges in return. And I think that's kind of heartwarming, because we always pass by each other, and my neighbors, some of them are actually from overseas. So there's Chinese from China and also Malaysia. There's a Indian family as well. And so we all get this share of different cultures, which I think is really nice.
How cool is that?
I think on that topic, that's really the integration of our Kampong spirit here in a modern society. In the past, it was probably in little houses. I don't know what my parents used to say. I have this picture in my head where it's made out of straws and wood, I think. And doing some research previously for my previous production, talking about how Singapore started with the Orang Lauts, with the immigrants. I remember there was a time where in the Kampong, they had a zoo, a private zoo where they have alligators. I don't know, it's crocodile or alligator. What's the difference? One long nose, one short nose.
Let's not go there. Yeah.
Right? So that whole idea of being in the Kampong spirit, where they gather together, they share their meals together, they sing together. I think in this modern day context, what she mentioned was exactly just that.
That's so true. I haven't seen Singapore at that time. I came to Singapore a couple of years ago, and I remember that when I would go to a hawker center, it was a new concept for me, right? And we would have all different cuisines there. So it was Malay cuisine, Chinese cuisine, Indian, and a couple of others as well. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is like heaven. I can try all kinds of food and taste it, and it was so affordable as well. So, coming back to the integration in Singapore, Kampong spirit is still there. What, according to you, is today's integration like? So, maybe Sanjana, if you could share your thoughts on that.
So I did come to Singapore back in secondary one. So I was not familiar with like racial harmony day per se. So what surprised me is during racial harmony day, the school wants you to dress up as other religions. Like other than me being Indian, I would rather be chosen to wear Chinese or Malay clothes. And in a way, it was very integrated because students, like other students from my class, they asked me if they can borrow Indian clothes, which was very heartwarming to me personally. And then it also made me realize how wholesome it can get after a while.
Very interesting. So, you came at a stage where you were not really like very young, or you were not born in Singapore, right? So, how did you feel? Did you feel that your classmates accepted you and you were easily integrated? What was your experience like?
I mean, definitely there was a barrier in the start because my accent was different comparatively. I did not speak Singlish, but my school did actively take part in my life while helping me understand. I asked my friend what la means, what's the different kinds of ways they say that kind. My friends even like made me a mini book which says all the Singlish, so I like kind of understand it better. And even the teachers, one of my teachers even gave me like a mini lesson in Chinese where I could talk to hawker uncles and hawker aunties, which was kind of nice. It was a heartwarming, a wholesome experience.
But were there any challenges as well? Did you see that, you felt that maybe you were not felt comfortable or were made to feel comfortable in certain areas, maybe when they spoke? Like that happens with me at work as well. Sometimes if I have 2, 3 Chinese colleagues sitting, they will subconsciously start speaking in their own language. And then one of them will say, hey, wait, Mehak is also sitting here. So let's just talk in English. So like any experiences like that you had?
I mean, I definitely did. But it always ended up like them including me in the conversation. They translating it for me, or they kind of like switching back to English to like accommodate me personally.
Very nice. I think that is the essence, right? In Singapore, it is being taught from very early years that you're supposed to accept people from different backgrounds and, include everyone in what you're doing. So in your growing up years, maybe, I will ask Ika. Ika has been very quiet. so Ika, what any memories you have of, while growing up? Maybe your teachers telling you to be more accepting of different backgrounds or differences in people?
So for me, I have like quite a few of core memories throughout primary school because I would have certain friends coming over from either Indonesia, India, and I did notice that there were like a few people who didn't really want to make friends with them. I'm not sure if it's because of their race or if it's because maybe they just seem quiet. But I would always take the initiative to like just go up to them and be like, hi, good morning, how's your day going? Do you want to like maybe study together or maybe just like hang out together like throughout the school days? And throughout those like just small interactions, I always end up like kind of like mixing them around with my group of friends as well so that everyone gets to know each other. And I think it's really about that sense of wanting to be inclusive to everyone no matter what their background from.
Thank you for sharing that. So very, very interesting stories here. I want to move to something that I experienced. I know of someone who joined primary 1 in Singapore, and this girl goes to her mother tongue class. Okay. And everybody was like, oh, what are you doing in this class? You're supposed to be in the Hindi class. And she's like, no, I have picked Chinese as my mother tongue. I want to continue learning. But she was sent to the Hindi class for the next 4 days. And she was like, no, my mommy has told me that I have to go to the Chinese class. So can I please go to the Chinese class?
That's so cute.
So, these kind of preconceived notions that, a person coming from a certain background or culture or race would pick up something related to their race. Of course, that is what the idea of mother tongue is also. But, that child had been learning Chinese for the past 4 years. And they thought that they wanted to continue it. In your experience, in your life, have you felt anywhere where the stereotype kicked in, and you were expected to do it in that particular way? And you felt, oh my God, people are questioning me for what I'm doing.
Thank you for that story, Mehak. I think that's super. I think I myself also have this kind of experience, like firsthand, For me, my name is Govind. Govind is an Indian name. My dad integrated himself into the Hare Krishna religion, and then he had 3 kids, from which he named all 3 kids Indian name. Chaitanya Dasi, my other brother Krishna Das, and my name Radha Govinda Das.
Wow.
Yeah, but everybody calls me Govind now. So in my school days, in my younger days, everybody would be like, Govind, Govinda. Isn't that an Indian name? Even my teachers would go, when they're reading a roll call, they would be like, okay, who is Radha Govinda Das? I'll raise up my hand. They said, no, put your hand down. We're looking for Radha Govinda Das. But with that being said, I think mostly as kids, I think the word integration or the word racial segregation does not even exist. Although sometimes people will say like, hey, you Chinese or Indian, then they will make fun of you. But for me, it didn't really felt like anything, because that's just my name. That's the name my dad gave me. I think talking about integration as a country as a whole, it really starts from where it was, from governmental level to the next generation, and now I don't know how many generations we are already. At this point of time, we don't really have that idea of segregation. We are more inclusive.
That's very nice. And you talk like as if you've seen many generations yourself. Oh my God! And one.
I guess that is true because I'm the oldest in this team.
It's okay. Youngest at heart.
It's okay.
Youngest
We don't
at heart.
need to know your age.
I'm
It's
15, turning 14 next year.
Lovely. We'll all come for the birthday party. And make
Sweet
sure we
16.
have a good one. Hot. Okay. Very interestingly, so, of course, your name is very different. So if they would say Govind, they would expect an Indian child to raise the hand, right? And you also play an Indian instrument, How did you pick that up?
So actually, the whole reason for the religion and the name started out from the music. When they say really, music really connects, it really does. So my dad heard the sound of the sitar on the radio.
Oh.
And one day he decided to pursue this sound. So he pursued to learn the sitar all the way from Singapore, all the way to India. And from there, he managed to pick up this instrument under a guru called Pandit Ramaraoji, who is the direct disciple of Pandit Ravi Shankarji.
How lovely is that?
And they gave my dad a challenge. If you could play this song very well, I will introduce you to Panditji. And he did. So when he went all the way up, he met Pandit Ravi Shankar. And from that, it really opened the doors for us.
So you're taking the legacy forward, which is amazing.
Available anywhere across the world with the app Radio Masti 24/7. The 24-hour station offers a vast variety of programs filled with local, global and Indian content along with Bollywood gossip and updates. Make sure you add Masti to your lives. Download the app today and stay energized and connected on the go. Radio Masti 24/7 Live, Singapore's only Bollywood radio since 2009.
Coming to you, Reena, you also play an instrument which is not a Malay instrument, it's a Chinese instrument.
Yeah.
So, did you also have any, kind of experience like that growing up or when you started to learn in your CCA?
So firstly, when I joined Republic Poly, I didn't really want to join any CCA or anything, but my friend really prompted me to join Chinese ensemble. Then I did join. Then I learned the percussion side because I don't think I'm fit for strings. Then it's just whenever I get questions, oh, what CCA did you join? Yeah, I'm like, or then I would say Chinese ensemble. Then they would like always ask this question: why Chinese ensemble? Like, why did you join Chinese ensemble? But to me, it's more of the feelings of being welcomed. Yeah, Chinese ensemble is very heartwarming. And when I joined Chinese ensemble for their first session, there wasn't really any like racial differences because everyone would speak English, and that is what really warmed me.
Very interesting. So that's about school. I want to go back to your homes. That maybe Ika, you can also share your story at home when you wanted to pick up an instrument, and your parents said that why don't you pick up something else? Why do you want to pick this up? Because you also have a Malay background, right?
Yes. So I was actually in like primary school. I was in Malay dance, and when the CCA closed down, I was actually quite interested to learn about other cultures. So I was like learning the ukulele. So I was thinking of other like string instruments, and my aunt actually introduced me to the instrument called pipa, which is a Chinese instrument. And I did a bit more research about it, and I found the music to be quite unique and one of a kind. So thankfully, thanks to my aunt, I got the support from her to actually pursue learning the pipa. And even though there was only like one or two people questioning, why do you want to learn the pipa? It's a Chinese instrument, why not try out the Kampong or other instruments? But to me, I feel like quite a number of my friends and family, they were quite supportive. They're like, wow, you're so like intrigued in like learning other instruments. And yeah, they were all like very supportive, and they kept joking like, oh, we hope to see you one day performing maybe at like Geylang or something.
I guess from our perspective, the grass is always greener on the other side.
Yes, and I personally feel that integration begins at home. Don't you guys think so?
Meg, I would love to answer this question. So I did come from India. So I had more Indian culture, more Indian like festivals to follow through. So when I went from secondary school to poly, I had more friends, which were more Chinese and Malay. So my parents took the initiative to include my friends in the functions I did at home, take them to the temple with us, like treat them to like something called the Bhandara, which is like giving out food in the temple. They volunteered with me in the temple. It's more like they encourage me to involve them in my culture so they can see my point of view, as well as I see their point of view while I also visit my friends' families and then eat out with them. Like recently I had like a hot pot day with my friends and her family.
This hot pot is just not going away.
It's a very common culture in Singapore is what I realized. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and her father treated me is what surprised me actually. I expected like myself to pay because I expected my friend to pay. But her father just called me family and just paid for me.
That's lovely. Well, that is what integration is about, I feel.
Right.
Lovely. Now, enough of discussions. I think we'll just move to something very interesting, where I'm going to ask you a question and you have to give me one-word answers. Are you guys ready for that?
Yeah.
All right.
Sounds
Yeah?
interesting. Let's go.
Okay, cool. So, what does integration mean to you?
Inclusive?
Oh, pass.
Kopitiam.
Love.
One more.
Sharing.
Spirit.
Communication.
Understanding.
Lovely. Well, those are exactly the words which go so well with integration. Now, if I had to ask you, if foreigners came to Singapore or even the residents of Singapore, what tips would you give them so that they can integrate better in the society here?
Honestly, to me, I feel like foreigners should stay in HDBs, as majority of Singaporeans or PRs are living in HDB flats. So I think it's a great idea for foreigners to live in HDB flats.
I think that's a great idea, because it's similar to my answer. That's why I said kopitiam, right? Because in the kopitiam, you can really see all Singaporeans there. You can see our people, you can see our food there. So I really encourage them to go there, eat our food, talk to our people.
Yeah, I agree. I think like trying to not be afraid to just go up to them, talk to them, ask questions, and I feel like just from that you can even like make friends, or yeah, you never know which type of like friend group you'll be able to hang out with.
Just to add on to her answer, you can take part in like community center events like Lohe, Hari Raya celebrations, which definitely like gives you like a chance to actually speak to this like citizens or locals here.
Very interesting ideas, guys. I think it is absolutely so beneficial. Now, that's about foreigners or maybe people who are not Singaporeans. What could the locals do so that there is better integration in the society by various races and people who come from different backgrounds?
Meg, actually, I would like to answer this with a personal story of mine.
Yeah.
So I did move from a condo to a HDB personally. So when I came to HDB, I had like Chinese and Malay neighbors actually. So my family has a habit of playing loud music. So we used to blast like Bollywood music personally. But after a certain period of time, right, I had like neighbors knock on my door asking like what I'm listening to. And like, of course, I wanted to share like my culture, like what songs I listen to, especially like Bollywood songs, which is not exactly what they understand, but they like the rhythm of it. So the integration part of the locals is appreciating foreigners as well. Like if they find something interesting, rather than like just keeping it to themselves, step out, ask them, enjoy it alongside with them, of course.
Get to know them a little better.
Definitely.
Very nice, yes.
I think that's superb, For me, it's slightly different, I'm all a little bit more about food, My answers was kopitiam, was communication, What I usually do with my foreign friends that comes over here is I will tell them, don't waste your money. Don't go to this, I'm going to use a local term here, atas restaurant, where you're going to spend so much money. Let me bring you up. I'm going to bring you to our treasures. These are local cuisines that most foreigners will know, only us locals will know. So I think that's what we could do. Really integrate them into our land, into these little shops that is golden to our
Like
country.
tell them about what and how it is done. For example, going to the food court and keeping that tissue paper to, block your spot.
Totally.
And do you want to add to the conversation?
Yeah, for me, I'll add on to everyone else. I think it's more about creating that safe space and non-judgmental space of just really getting excited to learn about everyone, especially since it's a two-way thing, right? So as long as we are willing to share, we should be open to asking more about our foreign friends, like about their own culture as well. Yeah.
Very interesting. So yeah, getting to know each other's culture, like Chinese New Year in our entire area, we had the lion dance that happened, and not only Singaporeans but also a lot of people from outside Singapore were there watching it and collecting candies, and of course watching the dragon also pass by because year of the dragon, and I was like, yes,
that's quite cool.
Yeah.
You don't get to see the dragon all year round.
Before coming to Singapore, I didn't know about the Chinese zodiacs as well. Now every year I'm looking forward that what is it going to be like for me in this year, which is another very interesting way to go and read at different malls and places here. Well, you guys were amazing. Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having us.
It was lovely talking to you. I have a little gift for you. And here's a picture. All right, so you guys are going to get a copy of it, a better version. Later on, we'll definitely make sure that we send it to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, you guys get this as well, a special gift sponsored by one of our sponsors here.
No way.
Yes.
What's that?
This is world's first sugar-free turmeric paste mints, and it is sponsored by Haldi, which is Singapore's multi-awards winning company. And I'm very delighted to be able to give each one of you a bag of this.
Wow, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Turmeric and mint. What would that taste like?
Well, what a refreshing episode of Montage of Singapore Season 2. What is the youth thinking about integration today? Amazing tips they gave us, how we can make it a better place, how we can make it more inclusive for locals as well as foreigners right here in Singapore. I am absolutely thrilled and very, very amazed at the ideas, and I think this is really exactly what we were looking forward to. With that, coming to the closure of the episode, thank you so much for watching Montage of Singapore Season 2. This has been brought to you by Masti Media Network and supported by National Integration Council. This is your host Mehak signing off for the day. Don't go anywhere. It's not over yet. As you know, in every episode we embrace inclusivity and diversity through arts, So today we bring to you a very talented artist, a musician, Nas Ibrahim, who himself is a Malay artist, and he's going to take us through a beautiful journey of transition from a Malay song to a Hindi one.
Hatiku bimbang namun tetap pikirkanmu selalu, selalu dalam hatiku. Ku melangkah sejauh apapun itu, selalu kau dalam hatiku. क्यों आजकल नींद खामखा ज्यादा है, लगता खुदा का कोई नेक इरादा है। कल का फकीर आज दिल शहजादा है, लगता खुदा का कोई नेक इरादा है। Tak bisa kau menungguku hingga nanti tetap menunggu. Tak bisa kau menuntunku menemani dalam hidupku. Oh, 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 पत्थर के इन रास्तों पे फूलों की एक चादर है। जब से मिले हो हमको बदला हर एक मंजर है। देखो जहाँ मैं नीले नीले आसमां तले, रंग नए नए हैं जैसे बिखरे हुए। सोए से ख्वाब में जागे तेरे वास्ते, तेरे ख्यालों में भीगे मेरे रास्ते। क्या मुझे प्यार है या कैसा खुमार है, या क्या मुझे प्यार